Hi everyone, you're welcome to Stories of the Bible SOTB. It's a great pleasure to create content on this platform. So today we are looking at Prophetess Noadiah. Many people do not know about this woman prophet, you know, but because she was not mentioned many times, she was just mentioned once. Although there's another person that bears the name Noadiah, but is a son of a Levite. So this prophetess Noadiah was the one of the prophetess that Sanballat and Tobias, conspired with to, prophesy or give fearful words to Nehemiah to make him stop the building of the walls that were broken down, and so that he will stop the work, instilling fear in him. But thank God that Nehemiah did not allow those words to get to him or to affect the work he was doing. Now, Nehemiah was serving King Persia. At that time, he was his cupbearer. But when he heard the sad state of events or the sad state of affairs in Jerusalem, he asked the king, that his master, who was the king, for permission to return to Jerusalem and to rebuild the city. This was a man who's who has the heart for his father's land, who has a heart for the place he came from, who believes that in as much as I'm okay in this foreign land, I'm the king's cupbearer, I feel fine, but my father's place, the place I am from, lies in ruin. So that was the burning point for Nehemiah, who took permission from his master, the king, to travel down to rebuild the walls of the city. And when new things are happening, a lot of people will criticize you, a lot of people will want it to stop, even when they don't even know why they want it to stop. So Nehemiah faced a lot of battles in rebuilding the city. At a time, he was armed with his men while they were working to ensure that they can repel any attack from their enemies. So Prophetess Noadiah was one of those women prophets who gave prophecy to instill fear in the heart of Nehemiah, having conspired with the enemies of Nehemiah, Sanballat and Tobias, to put words out to ensure that Nehemiah does not complete his task. You see, Sanballat in Nehemiah chapter 6, verse 1, where it was stated that Sanballat, Tobiah, and another man they call Geshem, who is an Arabian, and the other enemies of Nehemiah that does not want the walls of Jerusalem to be built, they came together. They sent letters to Nehemiah to say, come, let us sit together to talk. When Nehemiah, more than 4 times, when Nehemiah did not listen, they wrote him a letter that he wants to impose himself as king or invite his people. They were saying a whole lot of things. But Nehemiah, as a child of God, he knew what was in their heart. He told them, all that you're saying are from the imaginations of your heart. These things are not true. I've come to rebuild the walls of my father's land. I've come to ensure that Jerusalem does not lie in ruin. So these enemies of Nehemiah conspired with a lot of people. Beyond Noadiah, there were a lot of other people that came along the way of Nehemiah and spoke as though they were inspired by the Lord. But with the spirit of discernment, Nehemiah was able to know that these ones are not from the Lord. So specifically in Nehemiah chapter 6, verse 14, this was when Nehemiah was recounting what these people have been doing to him. He now said, my God, think thou upon Tobiah and Sanballat according to this their work. So he was so frustrated with what they were doing, but he kept pushing. At the time, he raised his voice in prayer and said, Father, Look at what Sanballat and Tobiah and Sanballat are doing. Lord God of heaven, he said, think upon them with their work. And on Prophetess Noadiah and the rest of the prophets that would have put me in fear. So these were people who fought against the work of God. Who fought against the work of God. So Nehemiah was praying against them and said, these words came together to put fear in me. But thank God that I did not succumb. So Prophetess Noadiah was a false prophetess. She was a prophet of doom. She was a prophet of fear. She was a prophet of negativity. So she conspired with the enemies of Nehemiah to instill fear, to give prophecies of fear, to give prophecies of negativity, to give prophecies that will make Nehemiah to jitter, to forsake the work, the assignment God has put in his heart. So, as a Christian, in your work with God, in your daily life, there will be a lot of criticism. There will be a lot of people who will come in the shadow as though they are children of God to speak to you. This way you're going is not right. What you're doing is wrong. That is why you need the spirit of discernment. That is why you need to grow in your spiritual life to the extent that you begin to discern the voice of God and the voice of the devil. Even though he comes in the shadow of light, to be able to know this one is not it for me. So thank God that Nehemiah was able to groom himself to be able to decipher what was coming and whether they are from God and whether they're not from God. So he refused that spirit of prophecy of fear released by Noadiah to affect him. So in the course of your life, as you grow in your career, in your business, a lot of people will speak well. People you respect, people you treasure, people you look up to might even say words to you that want to stop the light that is shining, that you're grooming. Stop that thing that you're trying to do. It's not going to work. They're going to put in negative words that will make you slow down in what you're doing, make you think twice to say, am I even on the right path? Take heed. You need to decipher, you need to discern the right word. Is it from the Lord or is it from the devil? Because even as a prophetess, she was a prophetess of doom. She was a prophetess of doom. She was a prophetess that was speaking fear rather than to be courageous, rather than speaking courage to Nehemiah. He joined the enemies of Nehemiah to speak fear. He connived. She found herself, she joined forces with the enemies of the people of God to speak negativity, to speak fear. But thank God, Nehemiah did not succumb. Nehemiah did not listen. Nehemiah knew she was a prophetess of doom. And he asked the Lord to what? Look upon them with their works. So do not allow people, even if these are people you reverence, and when they speak and you discern that this is not from the Lord, pursue your dream, pursue that thing you're doing, groom that thing that is in your hand, so that the fear they want to instill in you will rather turn to courage for you to push through. Not when you start up things and when you're doing something, not everybody will see the good in it. Not everybody will see beyond what you're doing. Not everybody will see the long run. Some want to talk you out of it, some want to tell you it's not working, some will tell you how it doesn't fit in, some will tell you why you shouldn't do it. Forge ahead. Despite this prophecy, despite this prophet, despite this caliber of men and women, Nehemiah stood strong against their prophecy of negativity. He pushed forward. So friends, I challenge you, do not be downcast when people you think that should encourage you are not encouraging you. Do not be downcast when you feel that this person that's supposed to pray for me is telling me, don't just turn back out of their selfish interest. You see, Noadiah tried to hinder others from doing good by making them afraid. See, the word Noadiah means one to whom God has revealed himself. She was supposed to be a prophet of positive things. She was supposed to be a good prophet. Rather, she became a prophetess of doom. If she had truly been listening to God, if she was truly in sync in her place with God, in her relationship with God, she wouldn't have stopped Nehemiah from rebuilding the walls of Jericho. She have known that rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem was what God wanted at that time, and He has put it in the heart of a man named Nehemiah to do the work. Rather, she conspired with Tobias and Sanballat to have the work stopped. She tried to make Nehemiah to be afraid, to be fearful, to finish the job. But Noadiah failed to realize that she wasn't trying to, that she was trying to stop God, not just Nehemiah. Her prophecy was to stop what God wanted to go on. And you know that God cannot be stopped. So God encouraged Nehemiah. Nehemiah was courageous to know that this is not the word of God. So that prayer in Nehemiah 6:4 was against Nehemiah's enemies, Sanballat and Tobias, and the prophetess Noadiah. You must also know that we should see good in what other people are doing. Sometimes you need to encourage the person beside you. You need to support them in the way you can. You need to support their ideas. Be committed to see that it happens, that there is reality in their vision. Not just trying to force them down and tell them it's not going to work. Sometimes we are even the Noadiah in other people's lives. So let's be careful. Let us encourage people. Fear was the tool Noadiah used, in conspiracy with the enemies of Nehemiah to stop him. Fear is a strategy of the devil. The devil uses fear-based tactics to try to scare us away from following God, from doing good. He wants to make us afraid so that we'll be paralyzed to step out by faith to accomplish those great tasks we have. Nehemiah had a great work to do. He didn't need distraction. He didn't need all those distractions we were doing. He needed to focus. That was why he was even armed while working with his men. So those fear are distractors. So as a child of God, you must be fearless. When the spirit of fear is coming, irrespective of from who or where it's coming from, have the tactics to what? Discard it. Have the tactics to what? Discard it. So Prophetess Noadiah did not write her name in gold. Rather, she was recorded as a prophetess of fear, a prophetess of doom, a false prophet who conspired to put fear in the heart of Nehemiah so that he would not complete what God wanted for Jerusalem at that time. So friends, I just hope you understood what I have said. I hope you to be able to encourage yourself to know that you don't need fear. And anyone bringing fear your way, discard them. Discard them. Discard them. Discard them. So please consider subscribing to our channel. Share this video so that someone else will hear what we are saying. Encourage someone else person to listen and learn. These stories from the Bible is for us to be able to become better. These stories were put in for us as Christians in our day-to-day to read it and be able to be inspired to become better Christians, to become better children of God. Do take care and be blessed.